Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by with me today, hanging out and seeing what I'm up to. I hope you're all having a great day. I am crocheting. Okay, let me just tell you, this is dark brown yarn and I'm having a little trouble, so I'm using my magnifying light right here. I thought that had broke, but we tried it one more time. If you missed, if you saw the video where we removed this and put a different one up, I had this one in there and I was going to tell Paige to throw it away. And I said, try it in there one more time and, in the kitchen at the plug in there and see if it works. And she did, and it worked. And I was like, wait a minute, because I'd much rather have this one. And so I'm going to dust it real quick while I'm chatting, because I just looked through it and I was like, my goodness, how am I seeing anything? So, anyway, we brought it back in here and I just plugged it up somewhere different, but I think it has a short in the cord. But I don't leave this plugged up. It's plugged into a bar that I always turn off when I leave my desk. But I think it's the cord something. I don't know. It may not be a short in it, but for some reason the cord seemed to have been the issue with that. Anyway, so I'm using it carefully, but I'm using it. No worries, no worries. I know safety. So today, what am I doing? I am crocheting something that I would have never imagined that I would be crocheting. I started playing with yarn in the very end, or sometime in 2016. That's when I started loom knitting and started playing with yarn. I started crocheting in like the end of 2019. If I had sat down and wrote all the things that I would ever think I would make, this would not have been on that list. A roach. I'm crocheting Charlie the Roach. Okay? I would have never thought I would crochet a watch. I mean, a roach. Oh gosh. Anyway, I'm doing it. So that's what he looks like. And he goes along with Martha the Pigeon and Tony the Rat. And it'll be Charlie the Roach. So he is made with this dark brown yarn. So I'm using it, like I'm having to use it under this thing over here to see a lot. I can see these stitches a little better. Well, once I got going, I'm doing a lot better. But sometimes I do have to come over just to make sure I'm not skipping anything. Like the first little one there, you could easily skip if you're not paying attention. I'm trying to make sure. Hey, I'm trying to make sure that that is a stitch right there and that is not into it. But you know what? I really can't even tell. But I think so. But sometimes I do have to reach over in front of this just to make sure I'm not skipping that very first stitch. Did I not? Did y'all see that? Pay no attention to what you just saw. Okay, now let me put my crochet hook in there and try to crochet. So I'm on a spot. I started working on this and I wanted it to get it to a spot where I could actually chat while I'm crocheting, and so I don't need to be doing any decreases and increases while I'm doing that. So that's why I got myself to this spot. And then I got to a spot where I can do 6, 7, 8, and 9 rows. And when I run out of those, I've run out of talking space. But I probably don't have that much talking to do that long anyway. Oh, I hope you're all having a good Friday. Honestly, I'm crocheting this late Thursday night to get a good jump on the video, so I can get it out, midday-ish to afternoon, early afternoon on Friday. And then, so if you're watching on Friday, happy Friday. If you're watching over the weekend, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. At any time you're watching, I hope you're having a great day. So I am, like I said, it's Thursday, late Thursday evening when I'm recording this. But so I had that doctor's appointment on Friday, and ended up he sent me to a different doctor, the surgery clinic, so they could check on my tube. And it was decided, you know, after some talk and checking it and all this kind of stuff, they decided they would change it. And so I was relieved of that. They had to go find my size tube. I wore a 24 French feeding tube. And so, yeah, they're like, what size tube do you wear? A 24 French. Doesn't everybody know their tube size? Anyway. And so it is working so much better. I was so tired of fighting that. It was just being very finicky. And you had to hold it just right and get it, you know, the hose in just the right position. And like I said, I think it had a tiny little hole in there, and we were just fighting that little hole the whole time. And so then it would decide to flow a little bit if you held it in the right spot. And so I'm thankful we have another one. So anyway, that doctor's appointment outing that day just wore me out. I totally spent Thursday recovering from that. It did me in so much. And then I did have to go and get some tape for my tube, but I had this pink stretchy tape. It came from the hospital. It came from last time I was in the hospital in November. They use that tape, and they always leave if they use tape, they leave the rest of the roll in your room, and don't take it to another patient's room. So I had that tape to bring home, and that's what I've been using, but I didn't have a lot of it. And I used it up. I don't know that somebody asked me the name of the tape. I don't know what the name of the tape was. It was just a pink, stretchy tape. It wasn't fabric tape. It wasn't paper tape. It was a very stretchy plastic. So I had looked at Walmart. I looked on Walmart.com, and they didn't carry that kind of tape. I looked on Amazon. They didn't have that tape. I better put my stitch marker over. Not stitch marker, but my needle. And I had bought a new bag for my drainage the other day, and Paige went and picked it up, and she asked them about the tape, and they didn't have it. So we decided to just get some electrical tape. We got some black electrical tape, and that's what I've got it taped up with, and it is holding fine. It is holding good. So yeah, I went to Dollar Tree, $1, $1.25, and got 2 rolls of tape. And so it's all good. 1 second, and I'll see if I can't pull that up to see. Here it is. This is the pink tape, pink peach tape that holds this little connector piece to that. But I was using that tape on this to hold that tube on there at all the times, you know, and ran out of it. So, but we got this black electrical tape, and I always leave a tab so it doesn't stick. It's a tab to like use it to unwrap, so you don't have to sit there and try to pick. So, and I had to teach the nurses to do that one time when I was in the hospital. You know, we leave a tab so we don't have to pick and try to, you know, get it back off. So anyway, that's what I got going. That black electric tape works fine, so I'm good. I'm good with that. Do you all have a project you're going to be working on for the weekend? I'm going to work on Charlie here as much as I can today. And if I, need to finish him up over the weekend, I can. But if not, I'll probably make some little... These little guys came each with an accessory. Let's see, I think a pretzel, a piece of cheese, and a hamburger. So I might make those over the weekend. Who knows? Who knows? Depends on how it goes. Right now we have no weekend plans except just crochet and relax and kind of just enjoy life a little bit. If you're watching this on Friday morning, Big Daddy is started his new job today, and someone had, a few people maybe has missed what's happened, what's been going on. Big Daddy did get an offer for a new job, and so he, after much praying about that and much consideration about it and stuff, we decided that was a good move. And so a lot of things have just taken place, and Big Daddy turned in his 2-week notice at work. He was going to give them 2 weeks and help train a new person to take his place and do his job or whatever. But turns out they divided his job up between a lot of different people and spread it out. And then he did work with the guy and was showing him some things that he needed to know. And if the guy calls Big Daddy and, needs to ask questions or something, he's all for helping the guy out. But the administrator come in, just decided to just start being ugly to Jody and smarting off to him, and just, and he come home and he was kind of like, yeah, I can't believe she's saying all this, and, well, she's saying all that because she's mad you're leaving. For one thing, she's mad you're leaving, and, but you don't have to stay there and put up with that. You've got a job waiting on you, and they want you to come to work now. And so we talked about that, and I told him, I said, you ain't got to go back and put up with her being all smart alecky. And so he called his new job and said, hey, look, this is what's going on. They were like, come on. So Wednesday, that's why he was able to take me to the doctor, because I told him, I said, just don't go. Let them know that you're done, and take me to the doctor today. So he did. See how my little Roach is going to turn out. Anyway, we're excited about his new job and the people he's going to be working with and such. The couple that's going to be the administrator and maybe director, if I've got that correct. They're a very sweet couple. Big Daddy likes them a lot, and I've met them a couple of times now, and they seem like really cool people to me. And so he's excited to be working with them, not only just the owners, but the people he's going to be working with in the office there. So we good. So what's something that you've crocheted that you thought you might not ever crochet? Like you would have never thought, I've been sitting here crocheting a roach. What is something that you have crocheted that you was surprised that you was making? Up until now, it would have been those boobs I made for the hospital. The hospital had asked me to make some boobs for them, and so I did. And they were used to show lactation and where the baby's mouth needed to be, and so I had made those years ago. And up until now, that was the thing. But now, I think as a roach. Don't think I would have ever thought I'd be crocheting a roach. But I am, and he's turning out kind of cute. I like his little shell hair. He looks cute on the thing, he really does. Yeah, we ran up to Target and got that electrical tape, and what else do we get in Target? I mean, not Target, Dollar Tree. We didn't go to Target, we went to Dollar Tree. I got some fruit gummies, peach flavored fruit gummy for a snacky over the weekend. I don't know if Big Daddy might have got some popcorn. I think so. And now I'm down another row. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so tell us down there, what's the weirdest thing you have crocheted, or something you never thought you'd crochet and then you found yourself crocheting it, or something like that, something along those lines. But anyway, as I was saying a little bit before, that yesterday's doctor's appointment and the trip, the all day out, that just really wore me out. And so today it took me more than half the day to be able to get up and do anything. It took me more than half the day. It was a slow go. Well, let me see. All right, Big Daddy was trying to tell me something and show me something. I was like, I can't see that. What are you doing? Anyway, he is excited about going to start his new job in the morning, Friday morning. If you're watching this on Friday, he is at his first day of his job today. He's excited about that. And I'm excited for him. Right now, it will be a little bit closer to the house because where his office is going to be for the time being until they get things up and running. It's going to be closer to the house. But eventually, it's going to spread on out a little further from the house. Yeah, when I got this package for Mother's Day, I laughed so hard because my kids know me. My kids know me so well to know that this would crack me up, and that, a pigeon, a rat, and a roach trio would be right up my alley. And so I can't wait to give these, some little character personalities and do some little photos and all on Instagram with them. And I might try to even do some shorts. Try to do some YouTube shorts with them. We'll see. I'm going to try that. See what I can come up with. Because I can just see it with lots of fun being had with these. With a roach and a penguin and a rat named Tony. Too funny. Too funny. Uh-oh. That is the last stitch. This right here is the last stitch of the row that I laid out for rows 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Let me do my stitch. Put my stitch marker back in. Otherwise, I'll forget and I'll be like, was I taking the stitch marker out or putting it in? Did I do my stitch? I straight up will do that. Not remember if I put the single crochet in it or not. And put my row counter over here. I do have other various things that I use for row counters, but that's simple and easy and right there in my face, and I don't have to pull anything else out, and it doesn't take up space on my desk. I have something else that I like to use, but it does take up space on my desk. And so anyway, I'm gonna have to read this and see what my next directions are. So the next row changed to this tan color, so I had to go back and redo my last stitch and change to the tan before that stitch ran out. So now I'm putting just a row of tan around the bottom of the shell. Or not really, it's not really a shell. Is Roach have a shell back? I don't know. So let me tell y'all something about a Madagascar roach. I don't know what kind this is, but I'm going to tell you about a Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Okay, so one time when Dakota was little, oh, I don't know, he must have been 7 years old, let's say. Something, 6, 7, something like that. Well, did we have Elijah? I can't really remember if we had Elijah or not, to be honest. Maybe he was a baby, because I think I remember pushing stroller. So Elijah must have been a baby. So we went down to New Orleans, and my friend Angela went with us, and we were at the zoo, and they were showing some Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and there was, a whole group of people there. We had kind of been walking in a group around this place. Was we at the zoo or was we at the aquarium? Might have been at the aquarium now that I think about it. Yeah, I believe we were at the aquarium. And you could go around to different little stations and they would explain things and, teach you little things and stuff. So we were letting Dakota do that. And we were just kind of following him around. So they asked a question. And they were showing introducing these cockroaches, Madagascar hissing cockroaches. And then they said, does anyone know where Madagascar is? Well, Dakota raised his hand, and all the adults looked at him and then looked back at me and Angela and Jody. And the person was like, okay, where do you think it is? And he said, it's a small island off the coast of Africa. And so he was like, okay, yeah, it is, And all the people turned and looked at us. And we were just like, I don't know. Well, I don't know where he gets these things. He homeschools himself, okay? Fast forward many years later, Elijah wanted Madagascar hissing cockroaches for a science thing. So we ordered some. You can order them online. They'll ship them to your house. And we did. And Elijah had a little cage for him set up. And they had a whole little habitat and everything. And he, tended to them and did some stuff with them. Did a science report on them and all kinds of things like that. We took them to co-op. Showed all the kids, He had fun with them. He had fun with them, doing his little thing. But once they were gone, they were gone. We didn't replace them or nothing like that. So we have had Madagascar hissing cockroaches before. I'm that mom that's like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do anything once. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and tie this off on the inside so I can continue to crochet. I believe I'm going to be crocheting the bottom of this. I think. I think that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to tie that off. Ugh. I always like to tie things at least 2 or 3 times. What about you? And I know there's some special knot I could tie, and people say you only have to tie it once, but my brain has to tie it 2 or 3 times, or I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to worry about it if I don't. So, this is what I do, and I can't change it. I cannot change my brain. Are you like that? Do you have to do things a certain way? Or are you just... How did I do that? Okay. Alright, so now I can get busy crocheting on the rest of this. Just working my way around the bottom of this shell, which I was thinking I was probably going to be crocheting like in the back loop only, but it doesn't say that. If it's going to curve in and make the bottom of this, the bottom of it, the belly. Anyway. I'm all... There it is. I was looking for my piece of yarn there. Yeah, I am going to do the crochet, learning to crochet series. I've got a name for it. I'm planning it out. I'm working on it in my mind. I'm working on it. And so that will be starting, I believe, like August the 1st. I'm going to start that because I have some plans. And I'm just going through and I'm going to write down a bunch of things that, I think new crocheters need to know. Things that nobody told me and I found out by accident. Stuff like that, So it's going to be like a class. More, less, something like a class. But yeah, I'm going to start that. I hope August the 1st. I'm going to start working on those videos. Maybe I can talk with Big Daddy about it this weekend and figure out a few things and start that. I'm so excited for him. I know he's excited too. Starting his new job. And people ask about benefits, like does it have better benefits or something? Yes, it does. It has way less stress. That is the biggest benefit there could possibly ever be. Because Big Daddy not only worked at that one facility, he was doing that same job for like 11 different places. That facility has little branches of different places. And there's some sister companies, some people who own that company own some other companies. And then they have like places where people just do, I don't know what these stand, IOPs and day treatments and things like that. So Big Daddy not only did all the paperwork and all dealt with all these insurance companies and stuff for his place of employment, the physical location, he did it for about 11 different companies within the company. And so this is going to be so much less stress. That is the biggest benefit ever. Yes, so several people have asked me, is the benefits going to be better? Or, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm so excited about that for him because y'all just don't know. That man worries about his job. When he comes home and he's got a big deadline, he's just worrying about that. He usually brings it home and works on it at night, just trying to get things done. He generally cares about his job. He's not one that just, he's there from that time, and when he leaves, he don't think about his job again until he gets back. He worries about it, and he stresses over it, and so this will be way less stress. He will only be doing one facility, and that is a blessing. And then not only that, the other great benefit is my formula is going to be covered through this new company, not through the insurance, but through the company, is what we were told. And so that is another huge benefit. I mean, God is good. God is really good. And Jody is just reaping the rewards of all the good he has thrown out there and all the good he has done for the company he was working for and all that kind of stuff. So it's about time Jody Miller is appreciated. I'm just saying, It's about time he's appreciated. Because I know what he puts into his work. I know what he, his stress and just the thoughts that he puts into it and the concern. He doesn't take his job lightly. I'm just proud for him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud for him. I'm excited for him. Okay. Enough playing with that mess. Wait, where am I at? Well, I did that wrong. Because I was talking. So I'm going to have to pull that out and redo that correctly. Oh, goodness. It really did not take no time to work up this little piece here. I'll pull my stitch out. I'm going to start stuffing that according to the directions. And this is the stuffing that came in the bag. I still gotta make the head, but I'm almost finished with the back part. I think it might have 2 more rows, but I'm gonna stuff this up and get it kind of shaped correctly. This part's supposed to be flat. I can't believe I'm sitting here crocheting a roach. Get my stuffing up in there, and I do want to stuff that kind of tight because I want my little figure to be, he's going to be played with a lot. By who? Me. He's going to be played with a lot. Oh, I didn't tell my Instagram a few minutes ago when I was thinking about, doing pictures and reels and stuff on Instagram. But I think I'm also trying to do some shorts for YouTube. But really and truly, I don't know how helpful shorts are. I think they're a lot of work in editing and making with not enough benefits for a channel. But I might be reading that all wrong. But when I've researched and tried to find out, I've put up a few shorts before, and I just didn't see what the benefit was, other than some people just like to watch a lot of shorts, though. And then they might decide to, click on your channel and see what it's about or something. I don't know, but we'll see. But anyway, my Instagram is llama.mama.kayla. And my name is also Kayla Miller, if you want to just put that in and search for me. I think Patina doll might be my profile picture. Okay, I could stuff this a lot more. I was trying to save some stuffing for the head, but I got more stuffing. I'll use a lot of stuffing because I like my things to stuff firm, and I know that stuffing is going to shift around over time. It does not stay the same, so that's why I use a lot of stuffing to stuff it firm. Yesterday, before I could leave the hospital, I had to go get a x-ray. I put some contrast stuff through my tube, and then I had to get an x-ray just so they could check for tube placement to make sure it was in the right place and all. And it was. I expected it to be because it didn't hurt or anything like that. I totally knew it was in the right place. But the girl that took me back there to do it, she was just so sweet. Just a younger girl, but she was just the sweetest thing. And I did not get her name, but I should have, so I could just call out there and give her a big thumbs up. That's how sweet she was to me and everything. She was just so concerned. She asked, "Oh, let me get you a wheelchair," and I was like, "No, I'm fine. We're just going a short ways down the hall, and then she's like, "Are you sure? I can get you a wheelchair." I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Let's go." I knew exactly where we were going, so I knew I could make it. And she came and got me out of the waiting room where I had been sitting down. But and then after we did the x-ray, then we started back, and Big Daddy had went on out to the car and got it to bring it around to some doors that were closer there, and I wouldn't have to walk so far. But she was just so sweet. She walked me all the way out to the car and opened the car door and everything. She went above and beyond. You don't find many people out there that goes above and beyond nowadays. So when I see somebody who, interact with somebody at their job, whether it's Dollar Tree, Target, Walmart, Sonic, whatever, I want to definitely give them praise. A lot of people are very, very quick to call and complain about people, but hey, what about the people who are doing an awesome job? Let's praise them and make sure that they are being seen. You know what I'm saying? There's a place that we go, a little fast food restaurant we go to sometimes, and some of their employees are the worst, but the others make up for it. And so I always make sure I give different ones a good word before we leave, because they're making up for the ones that are not. So don't forget to do that when you're out and about, or even if you're on a phone call with a company or something and you have a receptionist or someone answering your call that's doing a really nice banged up job. Don't forget to give them a Big high five. But I did not get her name. And I forgot, when we went in there, I was thinking, I got to get her name. And I looked to see on her shirt, and I didn't see it. But I got somebody I can call to ask what her name was. So, my friend Angela's sister-in-law works out there, and she'll tell me who it was. So I can give her a big high five for going above and beyond. Very sweet girl, and I just want her to get some recognition. Nowadays, people are so quick and so eager to fuss, complain, you know, a lot of times, and people are out there doing their job, and they need to be recognized too. So let's do it. Let's do that. This yarn, because it was kind of just, I don't know, it was not balled up into like a skein of yarn. The way it was made, it was just easy to tangle. I had a pink one when I was doing Tony's, and I thought it was because I dropped it on the floor and picked it up and made a big old mess of it, but it might have been going to make a big old mess anyway. Because it wasn't really a skein, it was just a sampling of yarn to make these pieces with. Oh, now what am I supposed to do? I'm on the last, is this the last row? Almost. I thought it was. Well, it might be. Yes, I am on the last row. Single crochet and decrease. All the way around. I'm so thankful for you all. Thanks for joining me and hanging out with me as I'm crocheting my roach. I just have to keep saying that because that's just so funny to me. Who knew that would be in my future when I started playing with yarn? Did I skip one somewhere? I don't know. I didn't work out quite right. So, it's okay because I'm just going to pretend like it did. And I'm going to single crochet. And I might have should have been single crochet in there, but I don't know. I'm going to single crochet right there, and I'm going to do a decrease and borrow one more stitch because I didn't have 2 stitches left. And it's fine. It's just an amigurumi. Okay. And then supposed to just take the yarn and just sew that on together, like pull it through, make a drawstring. I just want to check that out before I did that, and I'm gonna give a little bit of a tail here. And get my favorite needle. Which is this big pink plastic one. It's really a thick plastic needle. Came from Amazon. It came in a box of other needles that someone gifted me. And I just happened to take some out, and this was in the pile that I took out. And I just really enjoy using this one. All right, and I think I'm going to save the head. Like I said, I'm, crocheting on this Thursday night, but I think I'm going to save the head and make on Friday. And then I'll be able to complete this in hopefully, one video. I was just going to show y'all how kind of whip this up. We had a little shower to come through earlier. It wasn't too strong or anything. It's just a little shower. But a lot of thunder. Now just pull that closed. And that is hard for me to do, but I did it anyway. Forced it through. And then I just kind of weave this in every which way all over. And when I put it back in, I put it to a stitch right close by it. Very, very close by. The next stitch over, one way or other. I just do that all the way around till my yarn gets pretty short. But I think I'm going to call it right about here. And then snip this off. And use my, let me see if I even see it. Do I even see it? There it is. And I'm going to just use my head of my needle to run that back down up in there and kind of push it down into the stuffing. So there is the bottom of my roach. He's supposed to kind of sit flat. Like this part right here is supposed to be flat. So that was the goal. There we go. We got to make a head for him now. Well, hello friends. It is now Friday, and I am crocheting Charlie, the roach's head today. I finished the body up, just to recap what's been going on. I finished the body, and now I am starting on the head. And it is Friday, so definitely tell me what you got plans for the weekend. We don't know. We're up in the air. We talked about going riding around. Just to get out of the house some. If we feel like it, we can change our minds. I don't know. Also, I checked on my booth and sold a lot out of my booth. And so I may need to go clean up my booth and do stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see how we feel in the morning, Saturday morning, before we make any decisions about what we're going to do. Because I hate to make plans and then my health fail me and not be able to do, what I wanted to do. That is a very real thing when you have chronic illness. Well, let me count these. When you have chronic illness, you might make plans and you might feel like, yes, I'm going to do that. And yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. And then when reality hits the next morning when you get up, you're, just don't have it in you and you can't. And I hate canceling plans. So I try not to, commit too badly. But anyway, Big Daddy started his new job. He is there. He's excited. It's going well. He loving the people that he's there with. So yeah, it's going good for him. I'm so happy for him. He's texted me a couple of times to let me know everything's going good. So anyway, and I did talk with my GI doctor, and she wants me to go on just all liquids. She's like, first off, let me just say, every time she calls, I'm asleep, taking a nap. I mean, she don't call every day, but on the days that she ends up calling, she wakes me up from a nap. She probably thinks this woman sleeps all the time. But it's just coincidence that the days I take a nap, she's going to call. And I even thought that one day. I was laying down. I got my drink, my phone, my glasses, and I was putting all that next to my bed. And I thought, I bet the GI doctor's going to call because I'm getting mama, getting ready to take a nap. And sure enough, she called that day. And so she called today when I was taking a nap. I was like, oh my goodness, that is just too funny. But anyway, so she was like, just try some liquids. We talked about some soft foods and some liquids and stuff that she's, like just try to stay on that kind of stuff until, we get that scope done. Some stuff that's going to flow easy through your tube and all that. So let me count these. So I had to make sure I had the right number of stitches here. Anyway, so we just talked about popsicles, ice cream, things that a 3-year-old would eat. Popsicle, ice cream, pudding, my teas, any kind of juices or liquids that I want to drink. She said anything, any liquid. Chicken broth, beef broth. I'm trying to think, what all did she say? I wrote it down, but that's in another room. Basically a 3-year-old diet that, what 3-year-olds would want to eat. But, I've got popsicles and I've got some pudding. Mashed potatoes. And I said carrot souffle. I don't know if she knows what that is. It's the same consistency as mashed potato. I would just have to buy it from Piccadilly. Yes, there's a recipe out there. Big Daddy could make it if he was inclined, but I don't see him doing it. So I'd have to buy it from Piccadilly. And anyway, so I do eat the chicken and rice soup, but the rice, she said, no, I don't even worry about that right now. Just do chicken broth. And she said, well, I told her, well, I just had bought some. And she said, well, if that's all you got, eat it, but try to do chicken broth. But I'll definitely have to, use what I got at the moment, what I just bought. But anyway, she is so nice. I really do like that GI doctor. She just is super, she acts like she cares, You ever talk to a doctor and you're just a patient and they're just like, oh, okay. And, like, they don't really care what you got to say. Or they're not asking you, how does that make you feel? And if you try this, how does that feel? Like trying to actually help you work through it is the vibes I get from her. And she's, she had said before that she was going to get me a better quality of life. And I'm banking on that from her because she said it. And I do believe her when she said it. She meant it. And so, yeah. I believe it. And so I am scheduled for, I know some people are concerned I have that cerebral, I have a leak. When I bend over, fluid comes out of my nose. I do not believe it to be sinus related, but it could be. But I'm not having any kind of sinus symptoms or anything going on unless I bend over and picking something off the floor or something like that. I start having fluid coming out of my nose. And I know, great, one more thing. I need something else, right? So I showed my doctor, and he's like, that's weird, but it could be several things. And he did mash on my sinuses, and, they're not inflamed or anything like that. So he went ahead and ordered me in for, I think, an MRI, maybe a CT scan, some x-rays of my sinuses, and I don't know, several things there just to see if I have some kind of cerebral fluid leak going on. I had a spinal fluid leak in the past, and it did heal up on its own. And so this one, I have gave it plenty of time. That it's been going on a few months. It should healed up on its own if it was going to. So that's why we mentioned it. Big Daddy actually brought it up to the doctor and mentioned that. And so we'll see, you know, what happens. Anyway, so I got some tests coming up for that. Always something like, yeah, let's add something else to the list. Because I don't have enough going on, right? My hork is falling over. Ugh, stand up there. I just talked to my son, Dakota. He is headed out of town tomorrow, going on a little trip, and he'll be out of town for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So I hope he has lots of fun, and I told him to send me lots of pictures. I have to live through them because I'm not up to doing any traveling, and if my kids can travel, I'm more than happy for them. Just share some pictures with me. That's all I ask. Share some pictures with me, and I'll live through your eyes. And so this place where they got Big Daddy's office at, I was thinking, okay, I have been in there before. You know, the day he went in for a little, to give insurance information and Social Security numbers to get insurance set up and direct deposit and all that kind of stuff. I kept saying, I've been in there. And so after he come back to the car, was headed home, I asked him, I said, inside when you go in, is it blah blah blah, you know, is there offices around the edge, and if you go to the top floor you can look down to the bottom floor? And he's like, yeah, that's the way it is. And so I was like, okay, I've been in there before, but I don't know why I was in there. I don't know where in the world I could have been going. And so this morning he actually sent me a little video, and I'm like, yep, that's it, I've been in there, but why was I there? And so before he went to work, we was talking about it. I got up with him for coffee time this morning, and we've gotten this little routine where in the mornings before he goes to work, I'm up, and he has some coffee, and I sit and visit with him, and so we've gotten that little routine. I guess, you know, I don't know. It's not our normal routine, but we've started doing that now, and so he kind of expects that. So I have to get up and do that with him in the mornings now, and I enjoy it. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it. I enjoy just sitting there visiting with him and talking about the day and the plans and, you know, whatever. But anyway, so he ended up sending me a little video, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I might can stick that little video on the end here of this video, but he doesn't know why I've been in there either. Anyway, let me fast forward. I got distracted a second. Dakota called me, and so we're talking about everything and updating him about Dad's job and, you know, everything going on, whatever, my doctor's appointments and everything, and he's telling me about his trip. And then I said, wait, I gotta ask you something. Oh, this is what I was saying. So this morning I told Big Dad, I said, I'm gonna ask Dakota why I've been in there. He said, if you was in there, Dakota was a little bitty kid and he don't know. I said, no, if he was a little bitty kid, he would still know why I was there. So I asked Dakota, I said, hey, Dad's, you know, temporary office in Washington Plaza. I said, I have been in there. I told him what it looked like, and he said, yes, that's what it looks like inside it. And he sent me a video, and I was like, when did I go in there? He said, me and you went on a Christmas tour there. And so he said we went in and we toured it, and there's a Doe's Eating Place restaurant in the bottom of it, and we had some samples there. And we did this whole Christmas tour of Monroe, and that was on one of the stops and lists that we went in and did, and I was like, I remember that. And so now I know why I have been in that place and what I did. I could not remember, but thank goodness, and Dakota don't have a very good memory at all either, but thank goodness he did remember that. He was able to tell me why I was in there. We are having lots of thunder, rolling thunder, lightning, and the lights, my electricity is dimming and brightening and dimming and brightening, and I don't know, so I may cut this video a little short. I'm getting out the eyes to put in this, but I may have to cut this little video short because I want to get it up, and I don't want to wait till electricity goes out or anything like that. So I'm going to put my eyes right here, lay my eyes out here in front of me. I might need them. No, I'm going to put them in shortly. I don't know why I'm putting them back in this envelope when there's a big gaping hole right there. There's a big gaping hole right here, so anything can just come right back out. But then I'm slipping that back in my Charlie the Roach bag. Now, I am calling my Charlie a Madagascar hissing cockroach. It's not what it's really meant to be. It doesn't say that. But that's what I'm calling mine, just because that's what, Elijah had when he was little. And Dakota had, answered a question about it at the aquarium that time. And it was the aquarium. I did ask Angela about that. And so, anyway, it's thundering. Rolling thunder, electricity. So I'm going to kind of wrap this up and just go ahead and get this video out and then finish the head and do another video of finishing this up at another time. So, I wanted to say something. I wanted to bring this, just say something. This world life is hard. In this world, we're going through so much unknown that it really scares people, and I get that. I know people are scared because of the unknown, and we are not going to talk politics on this channel. No way. All political statements, comments will be deleted. I understand you're scared. I understand a lot's going on, but we're not going to talk about it on this channel. There's more platforms out there for you to discuss things, and the unknown is scary. I agree. I know that. And so there's plenty of places online you can discuss that. I am not into politics. I'm not into politics, okay? So I will not be discussing something I don't even know about, right? I'm not doing it. Not doing it. So all politics, anything like that will be deleted. And nothing against you. I don't have the knowledge to discuss it, okay? But let's keep something in mind. Everyone is going through something. Everyone out there is going through something. Life is hard, and we are all just trying our best to do the best that we can. And somebody's best may not look like your best. Other people's struggles may not be the same struggles as yours. But let's have grace. Let's show grace to people, and not jump down people's throats because you think they don't agree with you, or you think they were saying something that they might have not even been saying because you jumped to a conclusion. Let's just have grace, okay? I'm extending you grace. Why don't you do the same for me and other people, and extend grace my way too, and other people. Extend grace to people. We don't have to be ugly. The world's hard enough. We're crocheters, okay? We're crocheters just trying to make the best of our day. I'm struggling to live day to day, right? I'm struggling to get up every day, get my feedings through my tube, get my medicines through my tube, get my bag hooked up to this tube so it can drain and let my esophagus and stomach have time to heal before my next scope. That is my main focus every day, is my esophagus and stomach healing up enough before my next scope that, you know, they don't talk about other stuff that I don't want to talk about with them. Scary stuff that I don't want to discuss with them as, you know, a possibility that might happen to me. Yeah. Other people have, you know, they may not be facing the same thing I'm facing, but they're still facing things. People are still facing, you know, the unknown, trying to struggle and get through every day. The prices of all our merchandise, groceries and things have went up. People are just trying to live, okay? They have a lot on their mind. They sometimes might say things without thinking. They sometimes might think they're making a joke when other people don't get the joke. You know, there's a lot going on. Just extend grace to people. And all our struggles are not the same. Sometimes we can't see people's struggles. Sometimes they look normal on the outside and they have a lot of stuff going on the inside. I'm not talking about just chronic illness things, emotional stress. There's something going on in everybody's life. Somebody's got a family member that they're worried about. I mean, everybody's got a family member they're worried about. Everybody's got financial they're worried about. You will not find not one person that don't have something going on in their life that they are concerned about. And when we're concerned and we have other things on our mind, we make mistakes and we might say things that other people find hurtful. But extend grace. I'm extending grace to you. Please extend grace to me. And on that note, we're going to call it because the thunder is getting really loud. And Phoebe's over here wanting me to pick her up because the thunder is too much for her. And I'll be back on another video showing Charlie the Roach getting finished up and put together. Alright guys, I love you. Excuse me. I love you all, and I hope you have a great Friday. And I hope you have, I'm saying that because I don't know if this video is going to go straight up or if it's going to have trouble since the weather's bad. And I hope you have a great weekend. I'll be here all weekend with some kind of video. So come check it out, visit with me and hang out. And if you can't this weekend, that video will still be there come next week. You just drop by anytime you can. My door's always open. I love a visit with you. And we don't have to agree on the same things to sit and have a conversation and to enjoy each other's company. We can just avoid things that we don't agree about and still be friends. One time there was the homeschool group. A lady came to a meeting at the library we was having, and she wanted to join this particular homeschool group, and I was a member of this group. And this really opened my eyes to people just needing support. No matter where they're at in life, everybody needs support. And this lady could not sign the statement of faith in that particular homeschool group. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart because she just wanted to meet us at the park to play. And I was like, we had a meeting about it later, and I was like, my kids can swing in the swing next to her kids. I don't have a problem with it. There was a few people who did. And I did not have a problem with my kids playing with her kids. We did not have to have the same religious background. This particular lady, she was a foreigner, and she was just struggling. She just wanted to homeschool her kids. She wanted them to have play dates. She wanted to talk to other homeschool moms, talk about curriculum. And I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Not everyone agreed in our homeschool group. And I was like, well, I'm going to start another group where she can be a part of it. And I'll be a part of it. And anybody else who wants to be a part of it they can be a part of both groups. But the group that I'm starting is going to be very, very inclusive, because the group I was in boldly stated they were exclusive, and they, excluded people because of religious values and things like that. I mean, there was a whole list. It really didn't sink into me until that particular time. My heart broke for this lady just wanting to homeschool her kids and let her kids play with other kids and talk to other moms. That really opened my eyes and opened my world. I was blind before then. I didn't see it. And once I was awakened to that, I was like, okay, we need to do something about this, because everyone needs to be included. I don't want to ever exclude anyone. So, I don't know why I got off on that, but just saying, choose joy. If there's a choice where you can choose meanness, you can choose hatefulness, or you can choose joy. Choose joy. And I want you to have a joyful weekend. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet, even though it's thundering and fisting to rain its butt off over here in Monroe, Louisiana. Choose joy. Love you guys.